To the Art Speaks, the show that dives into the underdog arts and discovers the stories of the artists behind their crafts, keeping their own creativity alive. I'm your host, Maddie, and we have a jam-packed show to keep you entertained. Today's episode, we're looking at individual art. Art that can be done on your own, in your room, with your own equipment. I will also be taking a closer look at the world of miniature painting and Warhammer art. It's a hobby built on patience, precision, and passion, where the smallest figures create the biggest battles. Harry Smith will be showing me the ropes, and I may even have a crack at painting the miniature characters myself. We'll be finding out what's on, in, and around the region regarding the arts, so make sure you have your calendars out. But in the meantime, we are going to cross to Elisa Hamilton as she catches up with a local portrait painter. And she'll talk about her artistic journey and how she finds people's colour and character through the canvas.
Hey, my name is Alyssa Hamilton and I'm here today to talk to local artist Amaliah all about her art and the journey that got her here. Let's go.
I'm Amaliah Grace, aka used to be Pamela Buckman. That was my birth name, and that was my choreographic stage name as well. So I was a dancer, professional dancer and choreographer, and now in my latter years, being a pensioner and retired, but as an artist you never really retire, do you?
No.
You know. So writing and now painting and focusing on developing myself as an acrylic artist.
What first drew you to portrait painting?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Actually, I guess because some of the early ones that I started with, I just wanted to do portraits, and I also wanted to do this spiritual work, which is my interpretation of Mother Earth, Gaia. I think that the planes of the face are really interesting, and when you start really looking into painting and colour and how to actually do a portrait, I mean, there's so many different variations of painters out there and how they teach to work with portraiture, and one of the ways that is to look at the lights and the darks and just work from that. I don't really want to do literal art. I want to do expressive art, and all the way through my life it's been, how can I express myself? First, through movement and music and choreography, and then even writing and become a better writer and become an expressive, evocative, and all of that. So I guess they're part of what pushes me all the way through every art form that I've been developing.
Could you tell me more about your technical processes and your experimentation with different mediums? Because you were telling me about the different paints and stuff, and how you go from watercolour to using acrylics.
Yeah. Well, I started learning watercolour about 35 years ago while I was still choreographing, and just love it. I just love the way it moves, and I love wet on wet. But now I've been working with acrylic. I had no idea really how to use acrylic, so it's been quite a journey. I guess also with portraits, that's what I endeavour doing, but I don't know that I'm really doing it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I always want to try and find the essence, the soul or something of them, rather than going for literally really good technique in what I'm doing.
I think the last one we'll end with is what your future plans are and where you're planning to go with your art, or whatever's calling to you at the moment.
Yeah, sure. Well, because I've only been doing this 2 years, and I am just starting to feel that I'm actually, am getting good is a funny term, but I feel more comfortable. I do want to do a lot more dances, and I've just started doing the first dancer from a photograph, which is actually one of my own choreographies. I want to be able to get to a point where I can do it with an expression of movement, so there is still a whole area of growth I have in the back of my mind. I mean, the piece out there that I've just started, I wanted to start that about a year ago, but knew that I hadn't done enough life drawing and enough portraits, enough practice and finding out how to use this medium. I mean, I don't know, I just keep doing what I do. And yes, I'd like it that some people might like to buy it, but again, for me, I have to love what I want to, what I'm going to do, to decide to do.
Thank you to Amaliah for speaking with me today and telling us all about her art and her journey. Go check out your local art shed, and we'll see you later.
Thank you, Alyssa, and a very big thank you to Amaliah for lending us her time and opening up about her world. If you want to find out more about Amaliah Grace, you can find her on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Amaliah Grace. If you find yourself motivated by that story, as like Alyssa said, go check in with your local art shed. But in the meantime, it's time that we see what's going on around Queensland. On the topic of portraits, down on the Gold Coast, Nicole Slater, the wife of former NRL star Billy Slater, has opened an art exhibition in Gallery 4 at the home of the arts Gold Coast, titled Rose Gold. Rose Gold showcases a stunning collection of large-scale equestrian portraits. The exhibition blends Nicole's two worlds, her lifelong connection to horses and her self-taught painting practice. Tickets are free, and why not make it a day out? Visit Gallery 4 at the home of the arts Gold Coast before it closes on March 8th. Now, joining me now is a very special guest, an artist who doesn't shy away from long and somewhat possibly tedious process. Joining us on the program is Harry Smith, a miniature painter who specialises in Warhammer. Harry, welcome to the show.
Hey, it's good to be here.
It's great to have you. We should jump straight into it, I suppose. You have brought in these miniatures. Can you explain to me what they are?
These here are Warhammer miniatures, a wonderful sci-fi fantasy setting set in the far, far, far future where there is only war.
Well, there is only war. That sounds rather bleak. I guess that for the uninitiated then, is it a game or a series?
It's a setting that is all parts of a game, a miniature setting, a lot of video games as well, and a lot of books.
Books! I love some good books. Now, what made you get into painting these miniatures in that case?
Well, many, many years ago, I was interested in a lot of the books. I picked up a few of them, I read through a lot of it, and I really loved the lore behind it. So I picked up painting some of the miniatures, and it's really spiraled from there.
And it would require a lot of precision, I'd imagine, looking at the wonderful detail of these. What tools and paint do you swear by?
Well, funnily enough, the least precise, we have a dry brush. It just requires a little bit of paint on top, and you pretty much just push it back and forth across the model, and it paints it up pretty well without requiring too much precision.
There'd be a lot of patience involved though, wouldn't there?
There is indeed. It's a lot about getting the layers up on top of each other, waiting for them to set, and seeing how they turn out to slowly build up to exactly how you want them to look.
And I see that you've brought in an example of that process. Is that what this is?
Yes. Over here we have a process example of how I paint up miniatures. We've got how they come in a grey paint. We base them in usually a black or a white paint, depending on how you want to paint them. We apply all the base tones, we shade them so they can get darkened down and really darken down the recesses, and then we finally brighten it back up with a lot of our layer paints to really make it pop.
So there's a lengthy process that goes through into this. By no means am I going to do great with this, but do you mind showing me the process and walking me through how we might approach painting these?
I would love to. The easiest way, we have 2 miniatures here that are somewhat already base painted. We've got the basic idea of them, and the easiest way to start for painting is with metallics. They're not too hard, they generally set pretty easy, and there's not much layering you need to do involved. So we'll start off with this one here.
Wonderful. What colour is this?
This is Stormhost Silver. It's a very bright silver that'll really make it pop on camera. And simply we grab our paintbrush, we pull the lid back, and we grab a little bit in the pulled top and brush it off so it's a little bit less
I have
gooped.
very shaky hands. I'm going to preface this.
Quite all right, no need to worry. We grab our miniature and we're looking to silver up a lot of his gun area and essentially just layer it on as much as you think you need, pulling any globs out. It's quite all right.
The shaking is real. How do you choose these colours?
Well, a lot of these colours are set out by the makers of the game. They put a big, large list of the paints you need to make them look like the box art, if you do want to paint them that way. If not, there's plenty of painting guides out on YouTube and the local game stores that you can use to really get to know how to paint these things better. There's a lot of help in the community, and I'm sure anyone you ask will be happy to help you with it.
Have you ever gone off of script and chosen different colours suiting your needs? Or?
Plenty of times. There's been a lot of situations where I'm experimenting with colours, seeing how certain contrasts will look, and testing different complementary colours on a bit of models. So I have a large amount of test beds that are sitting around in wonderful colours of white and yellow, green, everything.
Wow. I know that you said that you don't necessarily always need a lot of detail with those. This is kind of a two-pronged question, but how do you go so very fine into detail?
Well, a lot of it comes down to brushwork. It's a slow process if you want to go through detailing. It's very much about taking the time, making sure that your paint's not pooling too much, and understanding that it is trial and error still. It's not going to be perfect the first time. It's not going to be magically done within an hour. It's about slowly building up the layers and basing it so that it eventually turns out exactly how you like it.
I see. So it's sort of like the tortoise and the hare.
Very much. It's not a race to finish painting as quick as you can. It takes sometimes hours, sometimes days with the particularly big models, and it's really however much time you want to put in it. I know you can get it done nice and quick, but it might not be how you want it to look.
Speaking of, I'm looking at yours and I've noticed I may have painted the wrong part for one of them. What do you do when you are maybe not as precise as you're supposed to be, or you've chosen the wrong colour?
Well, thankfully with paint, it's not immedately set. So the easiest way to do it is grab either a dry brush you have or a little piece of extra spare towel you have lying around, and you can simply dab it off so that it wipes off pretty easy.
Wonderful. Look at that. So really, considering the amount of detail, you can't really make many mistakes, can you?
No, even if you do, there are several ways to strip the paint, start from base zero. It's very much a process of learning.
Wonderful. Speaking of learning, you mentioned that the community is very supportive and there's a lot of people willing to help out. The process itself, how do you find that you learn from other Warhammer miniature painters?
A lot of it is learning from other people. There's only so much, going out buying paints can do. It's a very large, expansive community. Everyone's really, really helpful. If you ask any questions, they'll be happy to answer. A lot of it's through, posting pictures online, saying, how does this look? How can I improve? And a lot of people are really helpful in giving you tips, giving you ideas on how to fix it up.
That sounds like something I want to join. This is fun. Even just the one little part, I'm already transfixed. Unfortunately, that is all the time we have for the Art Speaks today, but that will not be the last of my journey with Warhammer. So what did we learn? Well, we learnt a lot. We learnt precision. We learnt about the world of Warhammer and miniature painting. We also learnt about the unique world of portrait painting with Amaliah Grace and all the different styles and ways people can get into portrait painting. We stepped into the small but mighty universe of Warhammer, and like I said, precision and patience are very important in this tiny tiny figure in a world of imagination. So to stay up to date on the latest on our socials, follow at the Art Speaks _UniSQ and at the.art.speaks for TikTok. But until next time, I'm Maddie Young, and this is Harry Smith, and thank you so much for tuning into the Art Speaks.